Hi, welcome to our channel. I go by Vi, and today I will be challenging Diabetosaurus to play a random off-meta build. I did have to consult the Reddit experts on this one as I am still familiarizing myself with all the skills. I am a biased Death Oath player at that. I am a witch player at heart, so I did decide to go for Fireburst Ignite Proliferation Elementalist. He has a 100 divine budget to make this character come to life. Since it is closer to the end of the league, he did end up leveling this character using his twink called Palm Strat. So we will be skipping that process. If you're interested in learning how to follow this strat, let us know in the comments below and we'll be more than happy to make a video on that. But without further ado, let's follow along with Fiery Bust. We're going to do our lap as soon as we feel comfortable doing so in order to get our ascendancy points. In this case, we're opting for an Elementalist. The first point we will take is Shaper of Flames, which makes us tankier to physical damage. After the second lab, we will take Shaper of Storms, which contributes to our damage multiplier. The third one will be Liege of the Primordial. This point combines with Golem Commander on the skill tree for a 4 Golem setup. It will provide good offense and defense. Lastly, we will take Mastermind of Discord, which is just bigger fire exposure and more damage. Moving on to the skill tree, there's nothing too special about this one. I will link the POE in the description section. We're picking up Spiritual Aid to skill some minion damage into our own damage, Doriani Glorious Vanity for some extra energy shield, and Ghost Dance since we have about 22k evasion. For our Pantheon, we will take Soul of the Brine King and Soul of Ralakesh. Now we get to my favorite part, shopping for gear. There's a 100 div budget for this build, so let's see what we can get.
Ching! 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 Cha-ching!
Now that we've spent all our money, let's go see what we got. First up, we have a crafted bow. The bow itself was free since we picked up a random reflex bow from the ground. We did use essences to craft and fracture the mod we wanted. The fire burst on hit is a must for this build to work. Next up, we spent a little bit of money on the crafting bench so we could have the 3 crafted mods option. Next, we have our quiver. All we needed on this were some resists, maximum life, projectile speed, and an open crafting spot for evasion and energy shield. For our helmet, we're grabbing a Corrupted Eye of Malice for the +2 to level of socketed aura gems. The amulet we grabbed had lots of attributes. The plan was to tattoo the dexterity nodes on the tree using a tattoo of the Tessalio Tideshifter. I think that's how you say it. This was for chance to avoid being stunned, but that did not end up fitting into the budget. Our first ring needed to have life, resistances, chaos res, increased global crit strike chance, and an open spot to craft. For ring number 2, we opted for a corrupted anathema, I think, for the cannot be ignited implicit. The implicits in this body armor help with some extra defenses since this build does not have a lot of armor implemented. Other than that, some energy shield, evasion rating, and spell suppression. The implicit and crafted mod on our gloves will help increase damage. Again, we're taking spell suppression, max life, resistances, and accuracy rating. But it's not the end of the world if we don't have the accuracy. Nothing too crazy with the belt, just some energy shield, life, resistances, and strength for attribute requirements. Plus, who doesn't want a little extra life too? Boots needed life, resists, movement speed, and increased cooldown recovery. We did get dexterity on them, but we could have gone without it since the tattoos didn't fit in the budget. We got 2 magic flasks, a quicksilver, and sulfur. Ideally, with movement speed and chance to avoid being stunned. We got an Ariath's and Bismuth flask for the chance to explode. These were cheap during this league, otherwise it wouldn't have been possible. And we got a Cinder Solo urn. We used Encilling Orbs to craft, used when charges reach full on all of these. Lastly, the Life Flask. You can buy one or pick one up from the ground and alteration spam for corrupt and bleeding immunity. We got it for free, just grabbed whatever we found. I won't be talking about all the nitty-gritty details of the gems we used. They're all linked in the POE if you're interested in seeing those. But the awakened gems we used were Burning Damage, Unbound Ailments, Swift Affliction, and Deadly Ailments. Cluster Jewels we used helped us scale damage with Spiritual Aid. We used Glorious Vanity to change the notable passive to Corrupted Soul. A Megalomaniac was used for Fan the Flames, aka Ignite Proliferation, but we found one that had 2 other good mods. The rare jewels are really straightforward. They had a combination of increased life, damage over time modifiers, projectile damage, resistances, and or stun and block. I'm going to wrap up Diabetosaurus' final thoughts on the build. This build shines when it comes to clear speed, thanks to screen-wide Ignite Proliferation. While Herald of Thunder is active, the build transforms into a full auto-bomber and it makes it so that your hits can proc Fire Burst. Ignite, Explode, Repeat. It demolishes Breach and Blight encounters, and it is very cheap to get started. However, this build does come with trade-offs. Scaling damage into endgame is tough, and building solid defenses gets expensive quickly. Bossing is definitely the weakest point. Fire Burst has an internal cooldown of 1.5 seconds, which sucks, but it can be lowered with cooldown recovery rate. Well, that wraps up our 100 Divine Challenge, an off-meta auto-bomber that clears like a dream, stumbles on bosses, and turns Herald of Thunder into a screen clutter ignite engine. If you want to see Diabetosaurus suffer through more off-meta challenges, or learn how to level like a Hollow Palm Ninja, drop a comment below and let us know. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.